What's up, guys? This is going to be a game for thought video, and the title of it is going to be, Is Twilight Princess HD a good idea? This is actually something I've wanted to talk about for a little bit now. I kind of pushed it off a little bit just because other stuff there was other videos I want to make, and then just been busy gaming and doing other stuff, working. So I'm finally getting to it. This is less of a is it coming and more of a is it a good idea, pretty much. And for you guys that don't know, nothing's been confirmed yet. We do have a lot of rumors and speculation and certain little hints and evidence here and there. A while back, with the latest Wii U update, someone went through the eShop and data mined it, found a list of virtual console games, but the virtual console games, for example, there was a lot of Wii ones, I think was it Galaxy 1 or 2 or something? It was one of them. Metroid Other M, a couple other games, and they were all with the virtual console lists and logos and stuff. Then at the very bottom, someone found Twilight Princess HD with its own little icon. It wasn't a virtual console icon, and it said specifically HD at the end of it. There's been other evidence too, sort of like their new Link render that they've been using for a lot of graphics and retailers. Looks a lot like the Twilight Princess Link. Actually looks exactly like him, with the same exact pose and everything, with him holding a shield and a sword like this or whatever. And it's just the art style's a little bit different there, but yeah, there's been lots of hinting back when they were first making Wind Waker HD. I know Aonuma had mentioned they also experimented with Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess and Wind Waker HD, they both experimented, Twilight Princess and Wind Waker, they both experimented with converting to HD. Wind Waker HD was the only, so far, fruit of that labor. So was Twilight Princess completely out of the question? I don't believe so. I do believe it's coming, but there's been no word from Nintendo. Nintendo refuses to comment on it. Usually when they refuse to comment on stuff, though, usually when they stay silent, usually means something big's happening. Take into account there is a Nintendo Direct coming before the end of the year. They did confirm that the Nintendo Directs will continue, and the president, Kimishima, recently went out and stated that there will be at least one Nintendo Direct before the year's end. We are at the very end of this, October 30th as I recorded this, and so we're about to head into November, and then we got December, so we got 2 months before a Direct comes out, and there's lots of stuff to talk about. Take in mind as well that next year is, well, this year they've celebrated the 30th anniversary for Mario, obviously with Mario Maker and other celebrations. Next year's the 30th anniversary for Zelda. Zelda was always released a year after Mario. Super Mario Brothers came out in 85, and then Zelda came out in 86 in Japan, 87 in the United States, but 86 was when Zelda came into being. It was 86, so it's going to be 30 years since then, so it'd be 30th anniversary. So I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of stuff that they want to do for the 30th anniversary. So is it coming? I believe so. And I'm the kind of person, though, that doesn't really I'll respect the evidence. Is it coming? Yes, but I don't like to personally put stock into it until Nintendo outright comes and says, look, this is happening. And they haven't said anything on it. There's been no press releases. So until there's a press release, I like to say, it's we don't know if it's coming yet. But the evidence says otherwise, obviously. But you got to also take into account when the Wii U first came out, there was lots of evidence. I think someone data mined Miiverse and found titles like there was a Yoshi's Island or Yoshi's Land or something title that never showed up on the Wii U. We do have Yoshi's Woolly World years later, but that's not necessarily a traditional Yoshi game. So more of a Yoshi story than a Yoshi's Island kind of thing, But anyways, yeah, so is it coming? I believe it's coming. But my point is, this video is it a good idea? And I would say yes and no. The reasons I say this is because, could we live without a Twilight Princess HD remake? Sure, we could definitely live without it. I mean, there's been a lot of remakes lately across the board, not just Nintendo. Nintendo's actually done the least amount of remakes. It's mostly just Zelda games they've been remaking, which is kind of odd. But you know, across the board, there's just so many remakes and remasters and ports and this version, blah blah, you know, for everything, you know, across the Wii U, PS4, Xbox One, you know, PC, you know, you name it. There's just been ports and remakes, remasters, and everything all over the place. And I think it's about time that we need to step away from that and start focusing on the newer ideas, or at least new sequels to our established franchises. That's what I believe developers should be working with. The problem with the remakes, though, is that, again, a company has to go by what the majority buys. It's just how it goes. So, like I always mention this, like Grand Theft Auto 5. Grand Theft Auto 5 came out on the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. It sold millions and millions of copies. Then it was re-released on PS4 and Xbox One, and it sold millions and millions of copies. So, millions of people rebought that game, just like millions of people rebought The Last of Us remastered, even though millions of people bought it on PlayStation 3. You know, so it's like I can't really fault them for I can't fault companies for constantly spitting out remakes and remasters and ports if we're all constantly buying them. And it goes into like my like argument about like gamers nowadays. I feel like we're like doing the wrong thing, but as long as people are having fun, you know. I personally, though, wish that like more money was put into more original ideas and more, like, you know, more sequels, things like that, more newer games instead of just remasters. On the Nintendo front, though, like I said, Nintendo's been the least offensive about it. They haven't really done a lot of remakes or remaster supports. The Zelda series has been the only one they've been, well, for the most part, in recent years. In the Wii, they had a couple things where they did like a new play control games, which were pretty cool because they actually reinvented the control scheme, which is a little bit different than just, you know, upgrading to 1080p and 60 frames per second or whatever. You know, it's actual changing up the gameplay, which is cool. But they haven't really done much. We had Ocarina of Time 3D, Majora's Mask 3D, and Wind Waker HD. I can't think of any others really. Oh, Donkey Kong Country Returns 3D and Xenoblade Chronicles 3D. Besides those, I can't think of much else really that they've ported or remastered or remade or anything. So now with Twilight Princess HD, I feel like it is a little bit redundant because we could already play it. We could already play the Wii version on the Wii U. So with the backwards compatibility, the GameCube version obviously we can't play. It can only be played on the first generation Wii's, which aren't even being sold anymore. So on modern systems, the GameCube version of Twilight Princess can't be played. Which, in my opinion, I've always debated with people, what's the better version, the Wii version or the GameCube version. I own both and have 100% of both at one point. Personally, I prefer the GameCube version. The game was made as a GameCube game. The controls feel better. The game is canon, meaning it's got left-handed Link. The world is on its right side, whereas in the Wii version they mirrored it, so the map isn't even correct. Link is right-handed, and I felt like the motion controls were a little bit tacked on the Wii version. I felt like years later when they made Skyward Sword, that was what Twilight Princess Wii should have been. So the Wii controls are a little bit tacked on. They didn't work too well. I mean, they worked okay, but there was a lot of times where like when people say waggle, when it's just with the Wii remote, like Twilight Princess really was waggle. Like there was no actual finesse to it. Whereas Skyward Sword, you slash your sword like that, Link slashes his sword like this. It's not just and he goes hurrah, 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 hurrah. You know, it's like it's hard to explain without actually seeing it side by side or actually playing it in person. And then as well as Twilight Princess, we also had the thing where the spin attack got confused with the shield attack. The shield attack, you just take the nunchuck and you press it forward, and he just bashes you with the shield. Whereas spin attack, you shake the nunchuck. A lot of times I would shake the nunchuck, he'd do a shield bash. A lot of times I try to do a shield bash, and he does a spin attack. So the Wii version's okay. I like it. I've 100%ed it. Obviously, I mean, it's not a bad game. I just prefer the GameCube because I feel the GameCube is more polished and it's the original game. So it'd be nice to get that version back, because if they do make an HD version, obviously they're going to go off the GameCube template because that was the original Twilight Princess. That's the canon version. They've gone on record and said that is the canon version with the left-handed Link, with the map on the right side, all that stuff. Now, the main reason I want to, oh, my computer's on screensaver mode, but the main reason I think it would be good to do a remake is because it comes around full circle. This is what I've been saying is, see, if we got remakes after remakes, I'd be a little bit annoyed because that's just, I want some new games. But the thing with Zelda is, while they've been giving us remakes, they've been giving us new games in between, and I actually really, really like that. So we've been getting a mixture of like remakes, ports, and new games. Like in recent years, we got so we had Ocarina of Time 3D. Then immediately after they released Skyward Sword, so you got a 3D remake and a new game. Then we had what was the next game? Twilight, no, the Wind Waker HD. HD port, and then we got Link Between Worlds, new game. What else we got? We got a spin-off, Hyrule Warriors. So a new game, which is a spin-off. Then we got Majora's Mask 3D remake. And then now we got Triforce Heroes, brand new game. Next year we get Hyrule Warriors Legends, which is an enhanced port. And then we get Zelda Wii U, new game. So I feel like a Twilight Princess HD thrown in the middle of all that wouldn't be so bad, because we're still getting new content or enhanced content with the Zelda series to begin with. Like I said, next year's going to be the 30th anniversary. They celebrated the 25th anniversary back in 2011 really, really well. So I'm expecting a lot from the Zelda 30th anniversary. We don't know what they have up their sleeve. As well as with the whole Wii U, there's unannounced titles. They've already said there are unannounced titles. So Twilight Princess HD would not come out as much of a surprise. It would be, especially now with the Wii U. The Wii U, obviously, I've talked about this before. I love the system, I do, but I can't deny that the sales for it aren't up to par. I can't deny that it's going to have the GameCube life cycle, meaning it's going to have 5 years instead of 6. They're going to cut it short in 2017 to release the NX. But meanwhile, the people who bought it, as well as people who still have been on the fence, they're going to try to get as much of that as they can. And what better way to do that than with releasing more games for it and more content? And it's, even though it's an HD remaster, it's still new content for the system, whether you want to believe it or not. There's a lot of people who may have not played Twilight Princess, so I feel like it'd be great. And what I was talking about before, coming full circle, is you got to really think. There's 2 N64 Zelda games, and there's 2 main GameCube Zelda games. There's not Forces Adventures. That's a GameCube Zelda, but it's not a main one. It's more of a side game. So we got Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. Both got 3D remakes on the 3DS. Then for GameCube, you got Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. Wind Waker got an HD remake, so all that's left to come full circle is Twilight Princess HD. I feel like it would be a great way to bookend this and to go forward into the franchise, because I feel like after they do that, they can finally maybe put off the remakes and ports for a while, because that would come full circle. Like, you've got your 2 N64 hits on the 3DS remade, and then you've made HD remasters of your 2 GameCube hits on the Wii U in glorious HD. I feel like that'd be great. A lot of people are also asking why not make Twilight Princess on the 3DS. And my response to that would be like, I just feel like, again, I feel like it'd be better on a console. If they made a 3DS, port, remake, reimagine, whatever of it, I'd buy it. I'd buy everything Zelda, and it would probably be good. I just feel like it would benefit more from a console, especially for a game like Twilight Princess. I feel like it'd benefit with a fresh core paint, upscaled to, bumped up. Well, not upscaled, but bumped up to HD. If they were able to make it run in 1080p, that'd be great. I feel like it could benefit a lot from the Wii U, as well as, like I said, using the Wind Waker template, using the gamepad for the menus, using the gamepad to aim and stuff like that. I feel like it would work out really well for Twilight Princess, because they could still have those button controls that the GameCube version had, but they could still add the gyro aiming with the gamepad. They could still add all the menus on the gamepad as well. So it'd be a way to tie the good stuff from the Wii version, because what I really liked from the Wii version was the aiming like with the bow and arrow and the claw shot and everything. That was done really well. That was done actually really, really well. So if they bring that back with with gyro controls, that'd be great. So, and then as well as the button controls and everything from the GameCube, I feel like it'd be a great meshing of what's good in both versions, and brought into the modern era. And like I said, there's people who haven't played it yet. So that would be. I feel it'd be good. They could easily release it at $50 like Moonraker HD, and it's another game for them. I could easily see them releasing it like if Zelda Wii U. So far, we don't know when Zelda Wii U is coming out, but let's say it comes out in November 2016 because all their big Zelda games come out in November usually. Say it comes out in November 2016. I could easily see Japan's getting Hyrule Warriors Legends on 3DS in January, so I could easily see Hyrule Warriors Legends in February for the rest of the world. Then I could see Twilight Princess HD coming out. Probably, I would say maybe July, August. Kind of like when Remakes HD was like in the late summer, early fall, and then finally they release Zelda Wii U in November, and that would cap off the 30th anniversary for Zelda. I feel like that would be something great they could do. And Twilight Princess is the great way to go about it. Ocarina of Time they cannot remake again just because that game's been ported and remade dime a dozen. You got it twice on GameCube, multiple versions on the N64 because it was the gold cartridge version, and then there was like 2 different gray cartridge versions. It's been on Virtual Console. Now 3DS remake. It's just we don't need to do Ocarina of Time again. So the next best thing would be Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess, I believe, is the second highest rated Zelda game. Don't quote me on that. I'm not exactly too sure, but I know when Twilight Princess came out, a lot of people it got great scores. IGN was calling it the Ocarina of Time successor and everything. So I feel like it would be great because they already use Ocarina of Time 3D as part of their 25th anniversary. So to make the next best Zelda review-wise for the 30th, again, it just comes around full circle, and I feel like it would be good. A main argument I always see to this is people saying, well, you can already get it. You can already play the Wii version on the Wii U, as well as they could always release it on the Wii Virtual Console, And my main argument against that is that may be, but you got to think the Ocarina of Time Majora's Mask on the 3DS. So but you can also play them on the Virtual Console on Wii U and stuff. So it's like, it's the same damn thing, I just feel like, it's just and besides, it's just there's people who will buy both. There's not a lot of people who buy both, but there are people who do buy both. Who just are big into their collections like that. So I just feel like it'd be a nice another title to get out there, especially with the Wii U. Its last big year is definitely going to be 2016. We already know this. So so what do you guys think? That's pretty much it. Do I think it's a good idea? While I am sick of ports and remasters and remakes, I believe it'd be a great idea if it's their final Zelda remake for a while, to where they could move forward with the series. But I feel it'd be a great way to bookend this era and the 30th anniversary. So, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. More videos are coming soon. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching, guys.